Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Welcome to Revamped Outdoors. My name's Elliot. Happy Saturday. And if you're not watching this on a Saturday, all I can tell you is that it's no more than 6 days away. So, got that to look forward to. But I got a lot of stuff in the, a lot of, what do you call that? A lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. Got a lot of videos coming up, so I'm working on editing them. Kind of larger project scale type stuff, but been working on this project in the meantime, which I think turned out pretty good. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but pretty large bait. I don't know, I'd say about 13 inches or so. So I designed this bait for northern pike was the idea. So this is all either 3D printed or a mold for this was 3D printed and then poured in plastisol. So it ends up being two pieces that you glue together with cotter pins on the inside, and they're just CA glued in there as well. So it's a larger bait. I'm kind of interested in seeing how it's going to hold up into the water. We'll see how it goes. This is a PLA, but it's kind of like a higher temperature PLA from Maker Geeks. Seems to be a little bit more rigid. Seems to be a little bit more rigid, a little bit harder PLA. It's pretty cool color too. This is a translucent blue crystal series PLAs. And they seem to print real nice. So it almost has some of this like banding, it looks like, on the top there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. That's actually not banding. That's actually a bump on one of my wheels on the carriage for the V slot that runs on the extrusion. So you have the eccentric nuts on the CR10 that tighten down the wheel to hold the hot end onto the X-axis carriage. And I was trying to fix my hot end one day, so I took it all apart and ended up leaving the actual heat block resting on one of those wheels. So it ended up getting a small impression on it. And just that small impression is all you need to end up giving you these lines. So I have another wheel on the way. But functionally, I think it'll be fine. And I think it'll work all right. These are size 2. Gamakatsu treble hooks. I really like using Gamakatsus. I haven't had any issues with their hooks bending or anything. It's not sponsored or anything like that, but I do really like Gamakatsu hooks, so I choose to use those. They're just number 2 trebles. These are snap rings. The cotter pins are literally words used a lot. They're just cotter pins. Just the ones you get at the store there. I get the assortment. So you get like this whole pack, right, for about 15 bucks. And you can make a lot of lures with those, but they're just bent on the inside of it and glued into place with CA glue. I choose to use this Bob Smith Industries glue. This is the Maxi Cure extra thick stuff, but doesn't really matter which. And then you get the accelerator with it. It's not sponsored either. I just really enjoy using the Bob Smith Industry products. They seem to be really good. They cure very quickly and makes for a real nice glue up job every time I gotta do it. So the main body part here, the PLA section of this was all designed in Fusion 360. The tail was designed in Fusion 360 as well. But what I did was I just came up with kind of, I don't know if you're familiar with pounder lures. They're a type of lure that guys fish musky with quite a bit, and to some extent northern pike, but they're completely made out of soft plastic, and they're really, really large, and they got kind of that same body shape. And so I decided just to kind of make that a split lure, try it out, see what happens, and just kind of mold it in my head what I thought Fusion 360, what I thought would be a decent lure, and try and give some action to it when it hits the water. So I haven't been able to get out and fish with it yet. Still working on that. There's been actually thunderstorms all the days that I've had off here, so can't get the boat in the water, but hopefully pretty soon I'm going to rip that across the surface. So the idea here, hopefully, in my head anyway, is that you're pulling like this, and this kind of split on the back section, I'm hoping ends up creating one of these actions in the water, right? And then you have the tail that'll actually be like a grub tail or any other soft plastic tail and spin in the water. So I'm hoping that it'll work. Not really sure. That's the beauty about this whole lure design, trying to make stuff happen. We'll see. What I did for the plastic tail is I actually printed out a version of my modeled tail in Fusion 360. I printed that out as a positive. Then I molded silicone around that in a one-piece mold. And I've seen a lot of people cut out a mold and use it kind of like a two-piece. So I tried doing that, but you can't get the cuts straight. You can't get them to connect very well, and I just was having a hard time. I was getting like one successful pour out of about 5 or 6 attempts, and it just wasn't really working. So what I decided to do was actually to print the mold box on, like, in and of itself, right? So I would print out 1/2 of the grub tail that I wanted inside its own box with index holes, right? So when I poured the silicone, I actually ended up with 2 halves with a negative impression on the inside, right? And then those 2 pieces, because they were modeled in CAD and printed on the same machine at the same time, those 2 pieces fit together, and I could just inject into those really well. And I didn't have to add the sprue channels or anything like that. I can add that into the CAD software. Just made for injecting the mold 10 times easier, and the result is a whole lot better. It is a little bit of a larger bait, but I think, it's within the realm of, 30, maybe 25 to 36-inch pike, well, up to whatever, 46 or something like that. But it'll be interesting to test the strength of this with the PLA. I have printed out other crankbaits in the past. I do have an ongoing project with that. It's been about 1.5 years. Just can't get the action right on the crankbait, but the design looks quite good. So I'm going to try this out hopefully here in the next couple weeks. I will make a video on it, so be sure to tune in. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of a video quick and show you this is some of the stuff I do on the channel, Also, if you're interested in STL or something, let me know in the comments, and I will post that up to Thingiverse. There's a disclaimer with it, it's still a thing in progress, but I think it's probably fishable the way it is right now. So we'll just see about if there needs to be some cables or something on the inside to strengthen it up a little bit. We'll see. Not really sure how that PLA is going to react over time, or especially with the stress of a large fish hitting it. But that's the fun of this. You got to try and make it work. Have fun in design and stuff. So that is kind of what I do on the channel. So if you did like it, make sure to share it around your social media. You can find me on Instagram is where I'm most active, and I'll post that up now. Also have a Twitter and all that stuff. I'll be there, and if you at me, I will respond. If you guys create anything as well, be sure to let me know on social media. I'd love to see all the different stuff that people are coming up with and everything. So yeah, till the next one, keep your amps up and your filament dry.